everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody. I am joined alongside my co-host and good friend Tony Cepeda. And today, happy Friday, beautiful Friday, as you could tell. You probably weren't expecting me outside. I'll tell you why I'm outside in a minute. Today, we are hitting on our thoughts of the defense so far this season and how they can improve moving forward and how they are potentially going to play against the Cleveland Browns. And just the big disclaimer, the reason why I'm sitting outside is I moved to a new unit today with my girlfriend. Yes, she moved in with me. I already set up my new studio. Very excited. Problem is AT&T thought that I wanted Wi-Fi set up on Saturday. No, I wanted it set up on Friday. So the white Wi-Fi thing right there is my only chance of making this happen. Thank you, Mother Nature, for getting through this and making it a beautiful day to shoot. Might do this more often. I don't know yet. So very excited about that. Tony, welcome. You know, I know you're in an office. This is my office for today. So before we dive into it, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Stupid Car Tray. Tired of your pizza toppings sliding, office coffee distracting you while driving, grease and other stains getting on your seat, or you're just enjoying a game on the couch and don't want to lean over? Look no further than the Stupid Car Tray. Visit www.stupidcartray.com and use discount code J16 to get 16% off your entire order. Link in the description.
Stupid Car Tray saves the day. Head over to the website in our description to get 60% off your entire order. I'm going to Iowa this weekend. I strapped in my Stupid Car Tray into the seat next to me, had my wallet in there, had my wallet, you know, I'm just ready to go. So I wish I was outside, I will say, because it is a beautiful fall day out. Absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be an awesome weekend. A lot of good football coming up. So Nick, if you want to get started on the defense, we can hop right into it.
Yeah, and when I put my arm up, like, I swear I'm not this pale. Like, you know, I sit outside quite often. So just wanted to make that clear. So, yeah, let's get into the defense, everybody. Again, apologies if there's a little bit of wind in the background. I don't have anything blocking me. So let's get into the defense. So far through the 2021 NFL season, the Chicago Bears are ranked 8th overall, according to ESPN, stats-wise. Power rankings-wise, sorry, we do not have that. We are just going off the stats. For passing, they are ranked 14th against the pass. They would be ranked much higher, potentially in the top 10 if they did not have that very sloppish game against the LA Rams, where they gave up 2 massive touchdowns that added up to over 120 yards. And then also last week in the second touchdown that made the game only 3 points against the Cincinnati Bengals when Jamar Chase caught it from Joe Burrow. Eddie Jackson and Kendall Vildor kind of collided. Wasn't pretty, so the Bears could definitely be a top 10 passing defense if it wasn't for 3 plays, if you think about it. So overall, they're doing pretty good. They had a good bounce back last week. We'll get to that in a little bit. Rushing, the Chicago Bears are ranked 5th in the league, which that is no surprise. Front seven is absolutely doing a fantastic job holding it down. I know a lot of people against the Rams were like, oh, they didn't play that good, but they literally kept the Rams to under 70 yards as a team rushing. So that's pretty impressive as a whole. And then points allowed, they are ranked 19th. Again, they would be a lot higher if they did not give up 34 points to the LA Rams and also 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to the Cincinnati Bengals. They'd probably also be top 10 there. So the Bears stat-wise are a top 10 defense. They are also 5th in the league with 6 team sacks. Guess who is leading the way? We'll get to that in a second. You're going to be kind of shocked according to how much people did not like this guy last year. And they are tied for 3rd with 4 takeaways so far this year. So Sean Desai is improved significantly. There is no doubt about that. Much less zone, looks a lot more aggressive. Tony, what are your thoughts on Sean Desai so far and how the Bears are going to continue to progress? And can they keep this up against the Cleveland Browns?
I love it so far. Obviously, we were all down on him after the Rams game, and I get a little more into that in the individual breakdowns. But basically, my advice to him, because I bet he's listening, is just keep putting your players in positions to make plays. That's what I don't think he did a great job of that against the Rams. I think that was also the players didn't execute properly. But like we saw against the Bengals, Jalen Johnson, yes, it was a great interception. However, he was in the right position at the right time in the right coverage to make that play. Same with Roquan. Obviously, the other one was a little lucky with the tip and everything, but it's because they got the penetration on, whatever the play call was. So Sean Desai, put your players in the right position to make the play. Players, trust the work you put in at practice, and that the man next to you will do his job so you can do yours. That's, it's that simple. It worked against the Bengals. Let's see them do it against the Browns.
Coach Tony, he'll be coaching a 5th grade football team in the next 5 years with that statement. So absolutely, I totally agree. Sean Desai knows what he's doing. He's a very smart guy. There's no doubt about that. And he's, again, I love his community involvement. As some of you may know, he's a professor at the University of College of Lake Forest, not university, excuse me. But, he's a smart guy. Sean Desai knows what he's doing. Was under the great Vic Fangio. He's done a great job in bringing in players. He was once a scout too. So overall, I totally agree with what you're saying. Trust the guy next to you that he's going to do his job. You do your job, and good things will happen. Sorry about the cars honking in the background. We got the little honks in the background. They agree. They agree Sean Desai is the guy. So defensive line. Let's go to the defensive line real fast. They have been eating. I mean, they are hungry. Again, 5 sacks as a team so far, tied for 4th in the league. Or I'm sorry, they're tied for 5th in the league with 6 team sacks so far. 5 sacks have come from the defensive line. And guess who is leading the way for sacks on the defensive line? Our guy, Robert Quinn, my defensive comeback player of the year this year for the Chicago Bears, making more money than Khalil Mack. He's got more of the sacks than Khalil Mack. That's how it should be. Bounce back year with 2.5 sacks so far through 2 games. He has more sacks this year so far than he made all of last year. So Robert Quinn is getting unlocked with Sean Desai. Obviously Robert Quinn had injuries last year. Chuck Pagano was not a very aggressive defensive line coordinator. So overall, doing a great job so far in regards to Robert Quinn. The Bears defensive line has also been stopping the run very well. As said earlier, they are 5th. They are ranked 5th in the league against the rush. They've been stopping it very well. Joe Mixon, one of the best running backs in the league right now, who is leading rushing yards after week 1, was stopped for only 69 yards on 20 attempts, no touchdowns against the Bears. If you have a fantasy back that is going against the Chicago Bears, I know this is Tony's department, but I got to say it. I highly suggest putting someone else in for them because the Bears defense is very likely to stop them. Akiem Hicks has looked very solid so far. He's running all over the field. He's got the crazy eyes going again this year. And then Khalil Mack also had a lot more pressure against the Bengals. Looks like he just shook off the rust that he had from last offseason and the preseason. Looks good to go. So, Tony, were you worried after the Rams game in regards to the defensive line? And do you think they needed that spark that they got against the Cincinnati Bengals and they will continue to have that fire under them?
I was worried after the Rams. I think everyone in the world was. And, even if you say you weren't, which I still was like, we'll see next week. It's one game. You still were worried. You're like, this could spiral. That's just the first step that you didn't want to see. After all these years, especially of just disappointing Chicago sports in general across the board, obviously, a couple exceptions, Cubs World Series and everything. But also as a sports bettor.
Hey. You gotta respect the World Series.
I said an exception. They didn't disappoint. We were like, wow, someone did it out of this city, except for the Hawks, I guess. But also as a sports bettor, after that week 1, week 2 is always overreaction week. It's, this team got, whether it's the Packers, whoever it is, they got blown out. The Bears got blown out. I tried to take it with a little grain of salt. We said they'd bounce back. We were right. The defense would bounce back, and they did. So. Now the big thing is which version of them is the real one. I think it's closer to the Bengals one. It's not going to be 4 takeaways, 4 sacks every game, that kind of thing. But I do think that I don't know. I think they are close to that Bengals performance. So I guess we'll see going forward.
Coach Tony, you don't sound very confident in the defensive line right now.
They played out of their mind against the Bengals. Don't get me wrong. And we saw against the Rams, they were so low and then they went real high. Does that mean that it has to swing back? I don't know what that means. I'm a little worried Robert Quinn's not going to keep it up. And I will say, you mentioned fantasy. I dropped the Bears defense after their performance against the Rams.
Wow.
So if you want to ask if I quit on the Bears defense, you can say I did. And I regret it. So I used a waiver claim on it. Like that was, I needed a running back. I used a waiver claim on the Bears defense and I got him back, thankfully. But that was hand up. My apologies, everyone.
All right. No one show any mercy for Tony. And
let me have it.
Let him have it.
I deserve it. I deserve it.
I think the Bears defensive line could do it again this week against the Bengals. You do have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, going against the Bears D line. But again, they stopped Joe Mixon, who is also a very talented running back, very dual threat, and he only had 69 rushing yards. So nice. So overall, let's go to the linebackers because obviously they've been ripping it up even without Danny Trevathan. Danny Trevathan is still on the short-term IR list, which is 3 weeks long, so he could come back for week 4. That'd be pretty nice. Not too bad against the Lions. Easy game to come back into. Roquan Smith has been playing out of his mind, though. He's tied for 7th in the league, 4th in the National Football League with tackles. He had a pick six and a sack so far as well. he better not get snubbed this year. And we've said that last year on our podcast. Tony and I, we love Roquan Smith. You know, London loves Roquan Smith too. Kinney loves everyone. How can you not like Roquan Smith? All I have to say to that, it's a contract year for him. So he is playing for that money. He's also playing for the respect that he deserves across the league. So good to see him performing well. Alec Ogletree, recently signed linebacker in the offseason, also has been doing a great job filling in for Danny Trevathan. He only has 8 tackles, but that's because you have a guy named Roquan Smith taking them all away from everybody. But Ogletree is making a threat. People have to move around him. They know he's a very good linebacker. And he had that tip in order to make that interception that the big man, Angelo Blackson, had against the Bengals. So, Tony, with Danny Trevathan, when he comes back, potentially next week against the Lions, should Ogletree stay in as the starter, or should they have Danny Trevathan start? Your thoughts?
So obviously, from the outsider's perspective, we're not in the locker room. We're not in, I'm sure the guys love Ogletree, but also Danny Trevathan's the old vet. He's the guy that's been there the longest. I almost guarantee, and we've definitely heard that he has the respect from that locker room. So I think it would be important to obviously see kind of what your players think, where it's, hey, Ogletree right now gives us the best chance to win. I'm sure Danny Trevathan would also, he would understand that. He's a team guy, I think. And they should definitely start working him in. If Ogletree, starts to slip up, that's when you put Danny T in more. If Ogletree is just having, an outstanding year, you got to go with the hot hand. It's a business, and it sucks. And I know, again, Danny Trevathan's that veteran leader. You work him in when you can, whether it's like these bigger packages, run packages, whatever, try to stop the run. I think you got to stick with them. Also, my comment on Roquan Smith, it is great. I say this about Luis Robert for the White Sox as well. He's so athletic and so good that I think a lot of the plays that he makes, because he'll just have 15 tackles in a game. A lot of these plays that he makes, they almost look so unimpressive because he's so fast and he's just so good at getting in position that it's not like, wow, that was an awesome game-saving diving tackle. Like, no, he stopped him at the hole. Like, sorry, I get so passionate about Roquan Smith.
We watch our language on this podcast.
I said frickin'. But I am so passionate about Roquan Smith. I can't believe they snubbed him. I'm still so mad about that. So that's my opinion on the Bears linebackers. I apologize for swearing. That's how much Roquan Smith means to me in the Chicago Bears defense.
Well, the rumor has it is that you and Dave Portnoy are going to Roger Goodell's house and are just going to stand outside with, signs saying like they're protesting the NFL. Because I 100% agree with that statement. Totally just kidding that Dave's going to do that. But anyway, I think it would be hilarious. But anyway, I totally agree with you. Roquan Smith, sorry, not Robert Quinn. Roquan Smith absolutely deserves to be respected in this league. He's not getting it, but that's also like David Montgomery. If we have 2 guys on this team that are just not getting the proper respect from the league, and it's because they play for the Chicago Bears. People just don't like the Bears to be good. I don't, besides Bears fans, obviously, no one likes it when the Bears are good. It's annoying. I blame Soldier Field. I just got to say that. I love Soldier Field, but Arlington Heights is the move, in my opinion. I guarantee you we're going to lose half our viewers after that comment. But anyway, if you have a strong argument for it, let me know. Anyway, secondary. Let's go to the secondary really fast. Yes, they struggled against the LA Rams. There is no doubt about that. And Tony, it's okay that you swore. I just got your text. It's okay. Everyone forgive Tony. He's going to go to church this weekend, say sorry for his sins.
I feel bad.
And no, don't worry about it. We all slip sometimes. Yes, the secondary struggled against the Rams, but what a bounce back it was against the Cincinnati Bengals. They helped cover wide receivers very well in order to create those interceptions for Roquan Smith, Angelo Blackson, and Jalen Johnson, his first career pick. So, and they were all in a row from Joe Burrow. 199 passes before, no picks, and then Joe Burrow, 3 in a row, gets picked up. Great job going after everyone and being hard-hitting. They were much more aggressive this week, and I think that's what Coach Sean Desai did. Learn from his mistake, not playing zone, and knowing the ability of his players. Again, like Tony said in the beginning, know your players, and they'll do their job well. I need to see this for multiple weeks, though. I am not the kind of person that goes, they're back. I have not said once that the Bears are back, because the Bears are not back. Until the Bears are, 2 games above 500, they look strong. If they win this week against Cleveland, they win against the Lions, I would say they're almost back. They beat Green Bay, they're back. The Bears are back. I'm not saying it because every time that's said, the Bears end up stinking. So, honestly, I'm not even probably going to say it. I'm just going to say that the Bears are doing super well. So, 1 week does not define your season. And, there's only been 2 of them so far. So everyone thought the Bears, stunk after the first week. And then they're like, oh, the defense is back. let's wait a couple weeks. Let's see if it actually is back. They played against a very young and up-and-coming Cincinnati team. Now they play against a very established Cleveland Browns team, especially going up against OBJ, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Baker Mayfield, you name it, they got it. And honestly, Austin Hooper too. So, Tony, in regards to the secondary, thoughts on the secondary so far? Are they legit? Are they going to be able to carry themselves? Is there anything you want to see more of from the secondary?
I do think they're gonna struggle a little more against this this wide receiver unit, especially and the tight ends as well. Like you said, Austin Hooper, Jalen Johnson. I think he's got his swagger back. Not that he didn't have it, but it was because obviously it's tough with he's the number one corner now with Kyle Fuller being gone. The big thing I want to see is Eddie Jackson do a little bit better on tackling still. I know obviously we've talked about it. Everyone's talked about it, but even that Jamar Chase touchdown, that long touchdown. Yes. Thank goodness it was meaningless, but I mean, he just, it just straight up misplayed the ball in the air and just ran into his own guy. Again, thankfully it was meaningless, but we can't be having that. That's how the Cooper Kupp touchdown happened. That's how these other, was it 2 Cooper, whatever the other touchdown was, whoever had that one.
Jefferson.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, a guy I'd never heard of before that night. So overall, I do think they're legit. I think they're good. I think they'll get better. I do think they'll get beat a couple times, really bad. I think just going through this year, because I don't think all these guys are necessarily top tier yet. Obviously Jalen Johnson is. Eddie Jackson can be, but he hasn't been playing like that yet. So I'd like to see him prove me wrong. But that's on Sean Desai to go back to him. He's got to put not only the secondary in the right place, but he's got to also scheme open these linebackers on blitzes. He's got to do stunts on the defensive line so that, these guys don't have to cover for 7 seconds back there. So that's my take on that. And honestly, I think they're going to win this week. I'm going to be tweeting out the Super Bowl, Super Bears, Super Bowl shuffle gif like I did all last game. I think they're back until they're not. Go Bears.
I can't say it. You could say it all you want, but I just can't say it yet. And I'm the craziest Bears fan probably that Tony. And this is, again, what started just another year was the Bears. I just can't say they're back yet because I know I will be getting the pain that I have felt for the last 24 years of my life because even before I could say words, the Bears are back. Like I'm thinking it. I don't even remember thinking it, but I'm thinking it. And London's daughter is definitely thinking it, and she can't even say it. So that's all I got to say to that. But, awesome episode. Comment below if you ended up liking, the rooftop view. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. If it's raining, I'm obviously not going to do it. But, if it's cold, I'll put on a trench coat and come out here for you guys because that's how committed we are to bringing you content. And we are very happy with how the Chicago Bears have been doing. But I am not saying they're back yet. Tony's saying they're back. If they win this week, I am not yet. So stay tuned for this Sunday for our post-game episode. We're very excited to bring that to you. We might have a special guest. I don't know who's going to be on with me yet, but Tony's going to be, it might be Tony. Tony might be reporting from Iowa. Watch out now. We'll see if he gets service out there. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody. I'm joined alongside my co-host and good friend, Tony Cepeda. Have a great weekend, Chicago, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.